Welcome. We believe that listening is the most natural way to learn a foreign language. On this channel we will publish conversations between two people each time on a different topic so that you can improve your English without boring grammatical rules. In order for the brain to absorb the language as much as possible and to automatically think and speak in English, it is recommended to listen to each episode several times at a distance of days. If you find these podcasts useful, we would be grateful if you would subscribe to the channel and like. Enjoy.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we are diving deep into something truly fundamental: human connection.
Yeah, we are going to be exploring the impact it has on our well-being and really try to get at what makes our relationships so fulfilling.
We've got this fascinating excerpt, and it dives into why those connections are so important to us as human beings.
It all starts with this basic idea. We as humans, we are social creatures.
Yeah, and it's like it goes beyond just, it's a nice thing. This excerpt really digs into the biological basis for connection.
Like, it's inscribed in our DNA. We need connection just as much as we need food and sleep.
Yeah, it's essential. It's not just some extra, like a cherry on top. It's really foundational to everything.
Exactly. And that foundation it's powerful. It has such a profound impact on our well-being on so many levels. But let's start with psychological.
Yeah, and I think everyone kind of intuitively knows that good relationships are good for your mental health. But this excerpt, it actually breaks it down.
It's like having this built-in support system, right? Like, it helps you navigate all the challenges that life throws at you.
And think about it. When you're going through something difficult, who do you turn to? It's those close connections that really provide that cushion, that support.
And when you have that support, well, studies have shown that people with strong social connections, they tend to have lower rates of depression and anxiety. They're more resilient.
And it doesn't stop there. This excerpt also goes into the impact on physical health, which I thought was super interesting.
Right. So we know stress it's bad for us. And when we're stressed, our body, it releases all these hormones. It weakens the immune system.
But positive relationships, they actually act as a buffer against that stress.
They do. And this leads to a healthier body, a more resilient body overall. And there's even research that suggests strong social ties, well, they're linked to a longer life.
Wow. It's incredible to think about the ripple effects these connections have on our bodies, our minds, everything.
And let's not forget about the ways that relationships help us grow.
Yeah, that's huge. It's like, every interaction we have, whether it's a deep conversation or just like a casual hangout, it exposes us to new ways of thinking.
You're constantly learning from others.
Yeah. It's like, that saying, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
It's like we need those interactions to help us grow, to kind of push us outside of our comfort zones.
Right. And through those interactions, we discover more about ourselves. It helps us become, the best versions of ourselves.
And this excerpt, it ties all of this back to a sense of purpose.
It's like when you have those deep connections, you feel a sense of belonging. You know you're part of something bigger than yourself. And that can be incredibly motivating.
It gives you direction. You're not just kind of floating around out there. You are part of something meaningful.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about how essential these connections are.
But I think the big question is, how do we actually cultivate those fulfilling relationships?
Right. What are the key ingredients?
Yeah. And luckily, this excerpt dives right into that, too.
Yeah.
It lays out several key elements, and, I think they all build on each other. But it all starts with authenticity.
Being genuine, being yourself,
Exactly. And it's about being vulnerable, too. Letting people see, the real you, flaws and all.
Yeah, and vulnerability is so crucial because when we allow ourselves to be seen, well, it creates this safe space for others to do the same.
It builds trust. Like it's saying, hey, I'm not perfect, and that's okay.
Right, and when you have that foundation of authenticity, that trust, then empathy can really flourish.
Empathy, it's such a powerful, it's such a powerful concept.
It is. It's really about trying to understand someone else's experience, their perspective, even if you don't agree with them, even if it's different from your own.
Stepping into their shoes. Really listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak, but actually trying to see the world through their eyes.
And when you do that, you build these incredible bridges. You connect on a much deeper level.
And of course, we can't talk about relationships without talking about communication.
It's the lifeblood of any relationship.
It is. And it's more than just expressing yourself, right? It's about really listening to what the other person is saying, understanding their needs.
It's a two-way street. And good communication, it helps you work through challenges together. It helps you resolve conflicts in a healthy way.
And this excerpt also talks about the importance of respect. And I don't just mean like, being polite. It's deeper than that.
Respect is about honoring the other person, appreciating their individuality, valuing their strengths, and respecting their boundaries.
It's like recognizing that they're on their own journey.
Yeah.
And, their journey and your journey, they might look different.
And that's okay.
And, all of this leads to the final element, commitment.
That's the ongoing dedication, to nurturing those relationships.
And it's not always easy. I mean, relationships take work, right?
Absolutely. It's like, think of a garden. It needs constant tending. You need to water it. You need to weed it. You need to give it the right conditions to thrive.
And relationships are the same way. You have to be willing to put in the effort, even when things get tough, even when you'd rather, just throw in the towel.
So to sum it all up, I mean, human connection, it's not just a luxury.
It's a need, like a fundamental human need. It shapes our lives in profound ways.
Our health, our well-being, our growth, our sense of purpose. And I think it's so important to remember that we are all interconnected.
And by nurturing our own relationships, I mean, we're not just making our own lives better, but we're actually contributing to a more compassionate world, a more supportive world.
And, just something to think about. How are you nurturing those connections in your own life?
And how are you contributing to a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued?
It's a journey.
It really is.